teaching, at least in the public education system, has been around for about 150 years, maybe 200, depending on who you're talking to. It's been around for a while, and so there's a lot that's been established. You know, as we're figuring out what works and what doesn't work. Um, you know, uniforms, to some extent, they are practiced on, I think, every campus. Um, you know, poignancy, this and that, but that was all contingent on being in a physical location, being in one place. And now we're in the age of pandemics. I know there are people that would prefer it this way with the online learning. I think it's a little less high impact, but it offers really a suite of new challenges and opportunities. They like the administration hasn't quite caught up to what's going on yet. So it's the cyber learning is kind of it's kind of a frontier right now. It's kind of a new open frontier. And going into that, I think I started off the year with this notion that maybe things are just too easygoing in the online classroom. Maybe the Wild West didn't work out for everyone. Maybe it's not working out for them here. And so, you know, I've been able to see my peers across several different kinds of classes. There's the history guys, there's the anthro guys, there's the geo guys. But then there's the teachers, you know, the future teachers. And I can't say I was like really too thrilled with their performance. They seem to be not in the classroom. They seem to be everywhere else. And this to me really gives me a second to pause, because in this regard, I am alienated from my peers. I feel motivated. I want to contribute. I want to learn. I want to engage with the class. And there was an absolute lack of willingness, I think. My professor, she said she wanted people to be comfortable. And I don't know. I'm not sure if comfort is comfort is a priority, all right? We're not going to be holding a classroom over an active volcano. So, I mean, the comfort part's big. I just wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it my priority, because that communist guy, whoever he was, that Ruski, he developed the idea of scaffolding, which is basically holding a form around your student, helping them build outwards with your scaffolding, and then when they're ready, they leave their comfort zone, or rather, they're not going to be ready. Okay, that's the thing. They're not just going to decide, oh, I'm ready now. I mean, some of them do. I do, but I'm the exception. I think I go into it imagining I'm ready. I don't even have to wait for it. And so I could see a lot of potential there, but that was not the drive there. That was not the intention. So, you know, I brought my A game to every single class. Maybe it was probably a little too much for a lot of people. It was probably absolutely a lot of too much. And as a future educator, this really scares me, because, well, if they can't be attentive in the classroom, how are they going to expect their students to be attentive to them? If they can't have the energy to sit up straight and give the professor more than 35 minutes of their undivided attention, You know, how are they gonna be able to give that same undivided attention when they've been worn down for 4 to 7 years by 4 to 7 students that have a lot of potential, but they're not getting it yet. If you're going to be lounging around in your pajamas on your bed, is that really becoming behavior of a student? I mean, I get it. I get that the camera only goes to right here. I'm wearing basketball shorts. I don't think pajamas are good, or I think that it's time for sweepy time when you're wearing your pajamas. And so I just can't imagine anyone feeling like it's time for sweepy time if they're sitting on their bed and they're in their pajamas. It's just like, okay, this is just the last roadblock between me and those Z's. But you know, I stayed true to who I am. I can't make other people do the right thing. And that's the thing about the right thing here. Because where do you draw the line, right? I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people that are rolling their eyes with, oh, he's wearing basketball shorts, but he doesn't like pajamas. Come on. Have some consistency. I'm sure there's someone that thinks that, because I think that too. So where do you draw the line here? Who gets to decide these policies, right? Because they're really big. So without a doubt, my favorite part of the semester was when I got to teach the class myself. It was so fun. I was given so much creative freedom. And if I would have gone first, I think I would have set a trend. But everyone was kind of content on having the same kind of synapses where they're just like, well, this is what we read in the chapter. Here's some questions about the chapter. And the problem with that is either you read it or you didn't, okay? You read it and you understand it, or you're not going to read it right now and get anything from it, anything meaningful. This class, there was a little bit of comprehension here. I mean, there's some underlying themes like reflective thinking, like the algorithms and how they dehumanize people. Like that's some heavy-handed shit that needs to be kind of tested for comprehension. But I don't think that the stuff that we read that's really the strong point there. I don't think that's really what you're going to get from it. So yeah. Here's the deal: is I got to run, my own little lesson, and I just had so mumuch fun doing it. We had so much interaction. There were people that spoke up for the first time in the whole year. I guess that's the other thing is most of my peers are content to just be this black screen. If you're lucky, you'll get like some sort of personalized picture, but typically all you know about the person that they look like is just their initials. That's it. It's so hard to connect with them. But I made the connections. We made the connections. There were connections. A connection isn't one way. It goes both ways. I was able to kind of coax them out of there with a high level of energy, a high level of spontaneity, and spontaneity, whatever. It really kept things lively. It kept things moving. But the real good thing I took from it is basically everything I'm saying now. I talked to the professor about, and she listened to me. She listened to everyone in there. They talked about cake for 10 minutes, like a couple times. Cake, something you eat, like goes in, goes out. Cake. But she's willing to make a connection with everyone. That's probably why she was willing to make a connection with me, because I really wanted it. I wanted it pretty badly. I don't like going to these classes and treating the professors like they're automatons. I love the personal connection. For me, I connect right here, and then everything else follows. And so she was there. She connected with me, and I was venting and I was complaining about all these all these things that really don't matter, right? None of this matters. This is all existential stuff, right? I get to be the guy that's worried about the existential things. That's how far I've come in my life. And she asked me, Paul, is it really so bad if they just treat it like a podcast? And I was like, and I wanted to say something. I don't know what I wanted to say. I wanted to say something, but I didn't say anything. I just took it as a rhetorical question, and I thought about it. And yeah, you know what? I don't think it's so bad that it's actually a podcast. It's easy to digest. It's in this form that people can digest easily. It's accessible. And you're gonna reach an audience here. You're not gonna get like a huge amount of participation, but then again, in a lot of college classes, not a lot of kids participate anyways. So I don't know. That immediately just kind of shifted my view on all this. Because I came to her and I'm like, look, we just read a book about how algorithms dehumanize people and ruin their lives. So my peers are dehumanizing themselves by not connecting, by not having their cameras on. And she was like, well, some of these people have lives to live. And then she didn't say, that wasn't a knock on me. That was showing that the schooling is a priority for these students, but it's not the highest priority. They have lives, they have jobs, they have stuff they do. And so, at the end of the day, for a night class, they're going to be probably too poop to poop. And I realized that's something that I really enjoyed is this ability to focus, give this class my entire focus, or at least a quarter of my focus, split between my 4 other classes. Okay, I'm gifted with an incredible opportunity here, not to be the ramen munching, like bloodshot-eyed student. It's an incredible opportunity, and so I kind of forgot, really where my perspective was, and that it really was a paradigm shift. I think in an ideal world, though, I don't know. I don't know how to get to the ideal world, and the ideal is not realistic, so is it even worth following? But you see, we're kind of in a society. We're kind of in a society. I hate that word. I hate that filthy word. We, as in at least the people of Fresno. I don't want to extend it any further, right? The people in Fresno are not the same as the people in Clovis. The people in Clovis are not the same as the people in Los Angeles. The people in Los Angeles are not the same as the people in Atlanta, okay? We're all part of the same society, but there are so many important distinctions that trying to paint us as one homogenous creature, even if we were, who gets to speak for it? Who gets to decide what society thinks or does? So at least, in the city of Fresno, at least from what I've observed, and then on the internet too, is there's consumers and there's producers. Okay, most of my life I've been a consumer. I've just been consuming things nonstop, and now not really ever with an end in sight. So being a producer, this is a new chapter in my life. It's so rewarding. This channel, I produce for myself. Okay, I used to produce for myself, and the ego got to me. Now I'm producing for other people. But I was really happiest when I was producing for myself. Anyways, look, dichotomy. Producers, consumers, right? I think all teachers should be producers. I do not. I think it's very alarming with how teachers seem to be wanting to do just consuming. I mean, they all go on Pinterest for their art projects. They don't come up with anything. Like, the administration's banned Pinterest just because things come out so uniform and cookie cutter, and there's no creativity, there's no building, there's no love, there's no art in it. It's just like recreation. So if I had my way, I would figure out how to break that shift. But honestly, I don't know if that ideal is worth following. But at the heart of the matter, this is my living room. This is my space. There's cats over there, right? They're my cats. They belong to me. That's my couch. That's my tacky banner in the back, right? my lamp, my computer. This all belongs to me. And if Fresno ever told me what I could do in my living room, I would be livid, I guess. I would just be like absolutely livid. I would wage a battle in order to secure my own rights in my living room. So the thing is, they have a no pajama rule. Well, what's next? A no t-shirt rule? And then what's next after that? I gotta have my hair cut and brushed, and I've gotta have, so I am invoking the slippery slope fallacy, but I don't think it's always a fallacy. I absolutely think that when you give people an inch, they'll take 4 miles. And colonizing the virtual classroom must be put at as far as possible by as many people. Okay, the thing is the only ones that are going to be creating this are the administrators. Those power-hungry tyrants that lack creativity. They're going to want to do it. But if all the teachers and all the students, if they just, I don't know. I don't know how to be proactive in this, because the obvious thing, if you want to have a libertarian policy, you just live the libertarian way. But that's just not. That's just not forward thinking here, because at this rate there's going to be some policies that just come in, and the professor, she burst my bubble at the beginning of the year. She was like, I was like, well, this is great, this is a frontier, the admin hasn't caught up to it yet, and she's like, well, they're catching up all the time. Now they can just hop in your classroom without even a warning, and then even then when they hop in and observe you, sometimes you don't even know they're there, and that to me is shocking and horrifying. So I guess the only thing on a positive note is that if this continues, and there's a huge chance this online stuff is going to continue, perhaps even indefinitely, that teachers and students stand in solidarity to maintain their rights, to give themselves the chance to have creativity and comfort in the classroom. It must not be colonized, because once it does, all the magic's going to be gone. And then maybe I want to shut off my camera